Why you guys are so hyper? All right. Shh. All right. Shh. Pay attention. Most of your part of the test is going to be based on calculator. You're going to learn how to use calculator in very short time. So this is the one question you can use calculator. So this is going to be open on the left. And then this is open on the right. Okay. So let's start with understanding first. First of all, I am gonna start with the decimals, and I'm gonna talk about graphing calculator because I have two different tabs open. So first of all, in terms of notes wise, you have to write down. If you ever use a calculator or use decimals, make sure the only thing you need to know. Anybody's absent today? Bennett, great. Oh, he's in a chorus, right?
No, he's in a wedding, I think.
He's in a wedding.
I think he told me about this.
He told me that he was in the chorus. This is getting married. Okay. Okay, rule number one in calculator for calculus skills, guys. Physics, those of you guys physics class, make sure you change your calculator into radian. Radian only. Okay? If you don't do it, if the calculator question had trick in there, you're gonna screw everything up. So do not use degrees. Degrees for physics. If you have physics class, then you should use degrees. But if you change the calculus, my test is first, make sure you calculate setting in radian first. But you can do that with decimals as well, so we're gonna talk about that. Second things. Always. Oh, sorry, never. Not always. Never graph integral, and that just doesn't work. If you graph integral, it doesn't work. You can graph derivative, but you cannot graph integral. Because there is a C, we don't know what a C is. Third, 3 decimal place. Don't give me your answer is 1.1 or 1.12. It's 1.123. 3 decimal place. Round the 4th place to the 3rd place. If you don't know how to round, AP exam will forgive you that. But you should know how to round. I mean, if you don't know how to round, I don't know why you're in here.
Going backwards in time. What about factoring?
True.
No, there was one question we had to
All right.
No, I tried to find
How many decimal places on your test? 3. Okay. 4th. Always write shit down. Write shit down. What I mean by this, if your answer is 0.714 here, if you just write down 0.714, that's a wrong answer. At least you have to write down a of 4 is equal to 0.714. Please don't be lazy, just say 0.714. What is 0.714? You have to define what is what. I'm yelling, yes. Because people on last year, you can ask Ethan Sorrow. I give him a 0 on his test. Always, how his answer was 0.714, 0.612. What is 0.612? I have no idea what is 0.612. You cannot just tell me that. You got an A, but don't worry. But I told myself I'd rather give you a 0 right now, and then you get used to it. You get upset and you never do that again. Rather than later you get used to it, you think it's okay on the actual AP exam, and you actually got a 1, and now I'll be pissed. No, you got a 5. Ethan's really smart. All right. So how do I find A4? So for example, I'm gonna show you 2 different ways. I'm gonna have 2 different tabs. One, I'm gonna start with graphing calculator because I think graphing calculator has slightly advantage on certain thing, not all the thing. Most of it are disadvantage because it's much harder to use. Now, if I want to reset a calculator, it is a second. Write down second plus 7, 1, 2 to reset. So right now I want to reset my calculator. Second plus 7, 1, 2. Let's reset my calculator. My calculator is completely clear. Now, if you have everything safe in your calculator, too bad. I just erase it. So hopefully you didn't have nothing saved. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna graph this function. You're gonna graph y equal to. So you're gonna do a, right? A is gonna be y equal to, and you're gonna graph natural log of. Now, don't use t. Use x squared minus 3x plus 3. And same thing as in terms of decimals, use v of x rather than v of t. So here I'm gonna type in natural log of x squared, right, minus 3x, and then plus 3. And then I'm gonna close parenthesis, and I'm gonna graph. It looks like this beautiful blue graph. Okay. Is this okay? Now, if I want to find out acceleration, so I'm going to do A right here. If I want to find out acceleration at 4, that means A prime of t is equal to, V prime of t is equal to A of t. Does that make sense? So you write that down, and then you say V prime of 4 is equal to A of 4 is equal to whatever value is. But the problem is, we have velocity here. So we need to find out derivative. So we're going to go to y equal to here. So you're going to go calculator here. You're going to say y2. You're going to say math. Click the math button and click 8. What is math 8? Math 8. Oops, now they're here. Go back. You cannot undo them. That's bad. Let me do that again. Natural log of x squared. Oops. 2. And this delete. Okay, x squared minus 3x plus 3. Now go to y2, right? So go to y2. Make sure I close the parenthesis here. Go to y2. Go to math 8, and then d to the dx. And you want to take a derivative to y1. So I don't want to type it as the equation because I want to rather just type in the equation once. I'll verify again because sometimes you type in wrong. I swear, some people type in wrong. And right here, you're gonna click math 8, and then you're gonna have d to the dx, right? You're gonna have x here, and this is a y1, and x equal to x. Now, how do I do y1? You're gonna click vars button, and you're gonna click. So I'm gonna click bars button. I'm gonna go Y bar, which is click to the right. You see the Y bar, and then press functions, and then Y1. And so now I take it to 1, and X equal to X. So now you graph, it should give you 2 equations. If you have TI Inspire, do you know how to do it? Brendan can show you if you need help. Misha, do you need help?
No, I'm good.
You know how to graph the derivative? You sure?
Yeah. Even though it's-
Is that? Okay. Okay, so now, shh, pay attention. Do you see this? It's between 0 to 5, right? So all this graph is not that important to have this part. It's not that important this part. And sometimes you need to adjust the window. And there's a way to adjust this window. You click window. And you click y is a -1 because I want to see the y-axis, even though time cannot be negative. But I still want to see the left side of the axis. Okay, I want to see the left side of the axis. Now on the bottom here, I want to do 6. I want to see a little bit 1 unit to the right. So I do -1 to 6 rather than 0 to 5. Because I like to see what happened at a 1, a 0, and 5. So if I graph this, it should be better. And you see this oscillating between certain values. Sometimes you need to adjust your y value to like maybe 200 because sometimes you see a straight line. That means the graph is going to go all the way up. So that happen is you're going to click window. And in this case, I want to see it smaller. So I will say -3 to +3. And I'll just, oops, I cannot do negative. Dumb. You have to use negative sign rather than positive sign. And then 3. And if I graph it, it's going to give me this graph. It looks much more clear. Is that okay? Is this okay? Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing. Now I want to find out what is the 4 when I plug in acceleration. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to go outside screen. We know the function y2 is the acceleration. So I'm going to go to y bar, click enter, y2, click enter, and I'm going to say 4. And right here, 0.714. So 0.714 because y2 of 4. I plug in. Now, I'm going to also have to teach you how to use decimals because according to people that they have decimals, they can use it. I wish decimals has lockdown browser because I can use it on the test, but I don't know how to do that. They might be able to do it. I don't know. So right now I'm going to type in the function. So it's a lot easier for this one. X squared minus 3x plus 3. It's going to be look like this. Now I want to change this. Click on the wrench. A wrench is going to tell you the window. The window is going to be -1 to 5 to 6. Is that okay? And this from -3 to +3. Is that okay? So it looks like this. Is that right? And if I says, well, the problem is I did not assign that. So I'm going to say v of x instead of v of t. We're going to say v of x is equal to this. And to find out the derivative, it saves a lot of time by just v prime of x. So they will actually give you a 2 graph. I'm going to do it in red so that way you can see it. This is a red graph. And if you ever want to find out b of a of 4, so it's going to be v of prime of 4, like this. They will give you a value, 0.714. So in terms of decimals are a lot easier and a lot more intuitive. Now, there was some advantage in the calculator. There was some disadvantage. But in general, I feel like decimals are a lot easier. But just on the test time, you know, we're gonna figure out like what's the best way to do this. Is this okay? Do you guys know how to use TI? If you have Inspire, I don't know how to use them, so you guys have to figure out. But it's not too hard. There's a small button on the right hand side. It's like a 2 square button. You can click into it. That's gonna give you a. Here, let me show you. It's okay. Okay. It's right here, right under delete button. So there's like a 3 squares. You can click on that. It's gonna be derivative. Now instead of y1, you had to take a derivative of f1 of x, and that's the only thing that's a little bit different. But it's that, so pretty much useless. But okay, so do you guys get it? 0.714. This is okay for part A. Okay, let's go to part B. Now I'm gonna tell you this this right now. They love asking this question, but a lot of people don't know how to answer correctly. So basically, speeding up, you'll compare acceleration and velocity. So you compare v of 4 and a of 4. We already know a of 4 is 0.714, right? But some people says, oh yeah, v of 4 is positive. No. You actually have evidence how positive they are. Because can I just guess v is positive, so it's speeding up? Yeah, I could guess. I could have guessed as v is negative, it's speeding down. You have to be able to use the calculator to find it. So in this case, you're going to click v of 4. And you're going to get 1.95. But you must provide this 146 if you know how to round. I think I know how to round. I think. Yeah. So this, since v of 4 is greater than 0 and a of 4 is greater than 0, therefore is what? Speed up. That's it. That's the only thing you have to write. For explanation, for justification. Since
We need justification for the first question.
huh?
We need justification for the first question.
No, there's no justification. All right, so how do I use it on calculator? Calculator on this particular case actually faster, believe it or not. You can click second table. It told you at 4. It told you the y1 value and y2 value at the same time. So in terms of decimals, this is gonna be a little bit quicker. You can do it outside too. You can do compare y1 function y1 parentheses 4 like this. You can do that, and you get 1.954. Or you can just click second table. It's gonna be like this. It give you 2 value at once. And 2 value at once I thought is pretty useful. However, what if today I say I want to find out what happened at 2.5? If I want to find out 2.5, my table is 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't know how to get 1.5. So I'm gonna click second table set, second window, and then go to input. Instead of input, I will say ask. So click ask. So now you go to table. I can do 1.5. Okay, and that's gonna give you like this, or 1.28. That's gonna give you, oh, they're both negative, so it's speeding up, right? So I can ask you different value and get 2 value at the same time. This is the advantage of using calculator. Now, I still probably prefer decimals. That's me, but on the test, I cannot let you use decimals because I mean, if you have to use decimal, I probably have to sit behind there. I have to watch your screen, and maybe that's a way to do it. This is so annoying. Either give me the lockdown browser or something. Actually, let me look it up. There's a lockdown browser for decimals. Hold on. Lockdown browser.
Well, you could put it, you could put decimals in Canvas and then have it walk down browser and like images.
I have no idea how to use Canvas.
Same thing last year, right? Yeah.
Everybody was to start practice test.
It was.
I think it calculated figure, so you could AP class for test.
I don't want you to say because.
You could just find like a random thing, and then we could just open it for the calculator.
What?
Or we could just
Blue
open,
Book
like,
you
a
can
practice
open different
test.
tab anyway. No. If you use a Blue Book to practice like SAT, use the lockdown browser.
Yeah, just lockdown browser, AP class. Or you can, yeah, put like one question in there, and just use the. You don't have to submit it, yeah. Just use the.
All right. So anyway, so that's that. Okay. So when the question is asking, we already answered B, so you must provide evidence of values rather than just say it's positive. Okay, you must provide the evidence. So let's answer C. What particle change direction? The particle change direction basically just V of t is changing, so it's 1 and 2, right? T is equal to 1 and t equal to 2. And matter of fact, between 1 to 2 is going left. Okay? How do you find the average acceleration of particle? Well, now you know how to do it here. Well, we know is a v of 2 minus v of what? 0 and divided by 2 minus 0, right? And that's 0.549. So average acceleration is equal to, please write it down though. Don't be lazy, write down the equation that you use, because you cannot just type in like that. You're gonna have to write down this in order to get points. So therefore it's gonna be 0.549 negative. In terms of calculator, you can do roughly the same. So you can do second mode, we know it's vars, function y1 of 2 minus y1. There's a lot more button to push actually. 0 and then divided by 2, and we're just gonna get you negative 0.549 anyway. I didn't use v prime because average acceleration is v of b minus b. It's a changing of velocity over changing time. If you think about unit, right, velocity is meter per second, and divided by time again, it's gonna be meter per second squared. Got it? So interesting question. Now that I know how to do this, let me ask you questions. If I make this question a little bit harder, I can ask you between 0 to 3, when is a particle furthest left? Furthest left between 0 to 3. Yeah, same question. I can ask you, find the time. So write down, find the time when a particle is the furthest left. We talked about this the other day. Furthest left. Furthest left, where? Between 0 to 3, where is the furthest left? You have to explain? You'll be a table. You have to write down furthest. So if I want a furthest left between 0 to 3, right? So that means I must including endpoint, right? So it'll be T and the T and displacement, so the distance, so I will say probably better to write that to, I don't know what we put it here, but let me think about it. With 0, it's gonna give you 0, so integration from 0 to x of v of t dt, v of t. So if it's 0, it's gonna be 0, right? You think about it. How about between 0 to 1? Well, I can do. The problem is I don't like this one because they don't shade it for you. I like actually calculator. So if I do second calc like this, then it can actually do a definite integral between, and I don't want a 2 graph, so I can unhighlight those graph. So I can just graph this. So do you see that? I can unhighlight it. See that equal sign? I can change it, unhighlight it. I can second calc and the 7 between, well, between 0 to 0 is obviously 0, but 0 to 1 is gonna give you 0.554. So 0.554. So the particle actually traveling right. Is that okay?
Wait, how did you get it to shade?
I do second calc and 7, which is integral, which is area under the curve, and you click 0 to 1, and that's gonna give you 0.554, and which is shaded from here to here. Now, if I would do the same thing, second calc and 7 between 0 to 2, now you're gonna see the value is gonna be a little bit less. Why? Because this is negative integral, right? Integral is gonna be negative. Start taking away. So at 1, at 2 is actually 0.368. What happened at the endpoint? Well, I'm gonna do endpoint. Do you think it's gonna be higher or lower?
Higher.
Okay, so it's gonna be higher. So it's gonna be 0 to 3. And it's gonna be 0.924. So what is the furthest left? This is the furthest left. This is the furthest left because it has the smallest value. Furthest right is actually here, right? Now, if it's 0 to 2, furthest right is gonna be at 1 because this is a 5. Okay, if it's 0 to 2, then furthest left right is gonna be 1 rather than 2. So these are the things that you have to be able to adopt and to be able to answer those questions, to be able to use calculator and figure out how to use a calculator. Is that okay?
At 0, the value is 0. The value is correct. 0 will be tiny with the small area.
Yes. I'll change it. But in terms of decimal, you can do this. Decimal's even easier, I think. But it just doesn't shape for you. So to be integration, pay attention. It's gonna be 0 to actually I don't know if this can do it or not. Let me see if it can do this. Y equal to, let me see if I can do this. I'm actually interested about this. So I don't think I can ever do that because I don't think they can graph it. Yeah, they cannot. So that's why you cannot graph integrals because it doesn't work. But if you just do 0 to 1 like this, they will give you 0.5548. And if you just change the bound to 2, it's going to be 0.368. 4, it's 0.923. So you can change it pretty easily. And I feel like it's easier to operate on decimals. But there's also, most of the people don't have problem with the calculate question. So for what I would do is I will master at a calculate question. So there's some worksheet here that you guys have. Now I'm gonna give you a total review sheet of the test. Okay? But it has some question. It has some question. Bye. Bye. You memorize it? 7 minutes? No, you already did this before. You're supposed to know this shit. Oh my goodness.